knowledge and wisdom, teach the understanding. Taking this shit way back. Taking this shit way back, way back, way back. Taking this shit way back, way back. Taking this shit way back, way back, way back. Taking this shit way back, way back. Taking this shit way back, way back, way back. Way back, way back. Way back, way back. Way back, way back. Way back, way back.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Lauren. I am a caster for Chair League. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. This is the second and final game that I have for the night. It's going to be between War Boys and the Robot Masters. The Robot Masters are a team that's been around, but I think they have a new roster now. Mega Man Fan, the captain, and caster for Chair League is there, though. So we're going to be on Sky Temple, and this is going to be a best of one. I'm going to get the draft links out to the captains now so we can get things underway. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Sky Temple is one of my preferred maps to cast and play on. It can be kind of snowbally sometimes, but I think it offers teams the ability to kind of draft anything. Like on Battlefield of Eternity, you have to draft it behooves you to draft with the Immortal in mind. But with Sky Temple, it's just like anything can kind of fit in there. So you get to see how teams like to play the game, and it's really interesting to me. Draft links are, in fact, sent out to both teams. Switch this over now before I forget, because I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing. A little bit of chat going on in the lobby. It feels kind of weird to only cast 2 games tonight. I've been on a roll this week, and I'm not done yet. So Friday and maybe even Saturday could be a thing. But draft is underway. War Boys are their home team, so they're going to have first pick, first ban privileges. I'm curious to see where they go. Zagara is a thing on this map. Zul is an important hero to consider as well. They are going to ban out Zagara, the Robot Masters. I would imagine they're seeing this team for the first time, so the Robot Masters would not know if War Boys has a Kerrigan player on their team. That is a hero that sees a lot of first pick priority. Falstad is going to be the ban. So it's a hero that gets a lot of value on this map. His ability to fly around in soak lanes is really cool. But not going to see him this game. Zul is going to be the first pick for War Boys. That offers them a ton of wave clear. He also has his Bone Prison, which makes him an asset in team fights. The follow-up CC is very easy to land on Zul's teammates because his Bone Prison's point and click. And he kicks out a lot of damage. A lot of people have been using Backlash at level 1. It's not a talent I was always a fan of, but it's really won me over. Having that added percent of damage, especially against like a double warrior comp, can be the difference maker. Could be the difference maker against ETC, who's going to get picked up as the first hero for the Robot Masters. So they're definitely looking to team fight. This is one of the best heroes to do exactly that with his ability to engage. Mosh Pit is also really strong. 2-minute cooldown, but you land the right mosh pit, you win the fight and maybe even the game. So the Robot Masters are also going to pick Li Ming, and that's definitely going to put the onus on War Boys to find ways to interrupt mosh pit. Li Ming's a very burst heavy hero who loves to snowball and get those cooldown resets. So you want to try to minimize the impact of ETC with his ability to jump on your face, or well, slide on your face, and then land the mosh pit. Tyrande has a way to interrupt that with Lunar Flare. If they position themselves correctly, they should be able to land the Lunar Flare with a measure of precision and consistency. We have to see if ETC is able to counteract that. Tyrande's not normally a solo support warrior these days, so I'm imagining on the back end of the draft we'll see War Boys pick up somebody else. But the Kerrigan pickup is huge. Between Tyrande, Kerrigan, and Zul, their early lane gank potential is heavy. Zul lands the root, makes it really easy for Kerrigan to have the follow-up. Tyrande can do Hunter's Mark to put 25% extra amount of damage on somebody, and that's how you blow people up. That's how you take nerds out. Tyrael is going to be the ban for the Robot Masters. On top of all this, they don't want to give War Boys sanctification and really enable that Kerrigan and Zul to hang out in the front line and do what they do best. I think that's a really smart choice. Jaina is going to be the ban With the mage already picked up, I'm not exactly understanding the Jaina pickup. Jaina could, in theory, do a good amount of damage to Kerrigan with Blizzard, as well as Zul. And assuming there's going to be another warrior, they are going to have a triple front line. But double mage is not something you see too often these days. So maybe that's targeted. Maybe these teams do know each other. I'm not sure. But that one's a curveball for me. Uther is going to be the pickup. I was concerned about this for War Boys because Divine Shield on Mosh makes that bad boy uninterruptible. And that could be a problem. They might end up regretting that Jaina ban and feel as though they may have been better served banning out Uther. His ability to turn into a ghost and kick out some heals after his death actually does not make him the most lucrative target to go after. Because he actually does more healing per second in that form. And that can be the difference maker between winning a fight or not. Robot Masters are going to select a specialist themselves in Sylvanas, a hero that gets a ton of value. Not as much on Sky Temple in that there isn't like a Punisher or an Immortal or something to push with to lock down structures. But being able to take down structures for free by locking down their damage only adds value when you do have control of the temples. If you're able to take down a fort for free, when you go back to the temple, it's going to go for the next fort. If all the forts are down, it's going to go after the keeps. So I definitely look for Robot Masters to, if they secure a team fight, to just apply pressure, just go to the other side of the map and knock down a structure and then come back to the temple, rather than just stand on the temple right away. That is something that Sylvanas would really enable them to do. 2 heroes to select for War Boys. They're going into their time pool thinking about this. Again, we don't see solo support Tyrande too often. My guess is they need another support and a warrior. Muradin's still out there. He's a top pick as far as that goes. They could venture into more unique territory. Diablo is out there. Anubarak. We saw Anubarak in the game that I casted earlier tonight. Did a pretty decent job. Muradin is going to be the choice for War Boys. I like that for them. There's a ton of lockdown potential on the side of the War Boys. Stormbolt, Bone Prison, Lunar Flare, Kerrigan's Combo, Hunter's Mark. If anyone on the Robot Masters get put out of position, they can stand to have a pretty rough time. Jason, thanks for the host, man. Really appreciate it. Welcome. You guys are coming in at a good time. This is the draft, which is at its end stages. So, Malfurion. Okay. We saw Malfurion last night in Chair League. He was in a solo support setup, however. He didn't do so hot. Malfurion and Tyrande both should be able to kick out enough heals to keep their team in the team fights. But Malfurion's not a hero we see too much these days. Arthas is going to be the last hero for Robot Masters, so they definitely have a strong and beefy front line, especially when you consider Divine Shield being available to him and Uther's solo target focused healing. It's going to be tough to take him out. It's got a messaging game. That's nice. But we already got everybody in the lobby, so it's not going to take too long. I'm trying to decide who really won this draft. As far as the meta is concerned, I would have to give it to the Robot Masters, just in that they have heroes that are considered to be higher tier. Generally, I need to be impressed to see how Malfurion works. I need to be won over on that. He does have another support helping him out in Tyrande, so that could definitely help. Tyrande also affords them some early level gank potential. If they can execute their composition properly, they should be able to establish an early lead to where the Robot Masters are having to play catch up. Because Malfurion adds further CC, he adds a root to the equation. So all that lockdown on the side of the War Boys, to have that anchored by another root, Uther, should they take cleanse at 7, is really going to have the work cut out for them as far as timing that cleanse. Cleanse only lasts for a second, and there's like 4.5 seconds at least worth of lockdown on the side of Warboys. So if they want to lock down a specific target, they're probably going to get them. And then it'll be up to Uther to keep them alive with healing and everything else. But we're going to see how this plays. Switch us over now. We are in the game. Best of one. So winner takes all here. On the left side, we got the home team, the Warboys. You're going to have Matty Havoc, all caps, on Malfurion. Emerald W on Tyrande. Mundolf on Muradin. The Betrayer. So on Zul and Vega's on Kerrigan. Over on the right side, we got the Robot Masters, the captain. Mega Man fans on Sylvanas. Lost is on Arthas. Stockton is on ETC. Marximus is on Li Ming. And Mellow Buck rounding out the composition with Uther. Light abandons Snowman. Saw someone named like Snowman and I didn't really get it, and they picked Uther and I was like, oh. No contest over the Watchtower. Don't die for Vision. There's actually a team I think I casted earlier this week named Die for Vision. All 5 members of the Robot Masters present themselves in the top lane, and the Warboys aren't too far behind. You're going to see the Lunar Flare go down on Stockton. He is able to back away. They do not claim the tower, but it's pretty much on its last legs. Zul rotates up and says, hey, any cleanup action for me? No, let's clear the way and be on my way. The surprise Sylvanas engagement that we're used to seeing by now got a little bit of value. It was not punished, so that's going to be a notch in the win column for the Robot Masters of sorts. Looking at the lane split, we're going to have ETC going against Malfurion. Looking at these talent choices, Moonburn does give him more siege, and Malfurion actually gets a lot of value out of that talent. I don't think people know or really respect exactly how much siege potential Malfurion can bring to the table, but it's a little bit. And especially against ETC, who has some of the worst wave clear in the game for Warriors, if not the worst. If that matchup persists, that could get interesting. Season Marksman, Reverberation Shade, so no backlash. Energizing Grasp, so they want the mana reduction on their Yank. Okay. Paralysis, Eternal Hunger, Rolling Like a Stone, Astral Presence, and Wave of Light. Both teams looking to just trade off these temples for the moment. This is standard fare. No one wants to put themselves out of position or fall behind on a map as snowbally as Sky Temple. Just want to soak the lanes, wait for the right opportunity to strike. Rotations, if they can catch somebody out of position, that's when you're going to start to see the cheekier play. But in a lot of ways, the advantage favors the Robot Masters in this situation. With Sylvanas, they're able to lock down these structures, and they could have really applied the pressure. They should be able to come away with this forward if they press the issue. The last remaining shots are going to see to that. So on a structure in, the advantage is definitely Robot Masters. The root goes down, the Kerrigan combo does not land, but there's the ton of lockdown. Rooted, stunned, death. You're going to see Arthas go down. First takedown of the game, but they're not done yet. They're going to go ahead and get ETC as well, and that's the Robot Masters' entire front line. And I'm wondering if that's going to inspire a shift in playstyle for the Robot Masters. Hey, Kylie, how's it going, man? Thanks for dropping in. Have a good night, dude. Both teams are level 5 in spite of those 2 takedowns. The 2 kills are offset by the fact that the top fort has already been claimed due to the Sylvanas siege pressure and the temple shots. Zul is going to see what he can do about that. He's got the wave clear to do it. In the bot lane right now, Lost is looking to see if they can catch somebody out of position. Mundolf is hiding out in the bush. Kerrigan gonna go start up this siege camp in the bot lane. The rotation is there. Uh-oh. Zul for sure overstays his welcome in the bot lane and it is betrayed by his positioning. Man, I'm becoming more like Sham 2 with these. I'm landing puns now. I don't know if he would be proud or disappointed. Guess we'll find out. Level 7 is around the corner for both of these teams, however. Vega, realizing and remembering what happened to his teammate before, would be well served to hang out a little bit. Power slide goes out on him. Jumping in on the 2 warriors, that is a hopeful progression to say the least. And the Q from Lost is going to take him out. 2 takedowns to 2, and that comes at a rough time. The temple will be here. By the time it activates, Kerrigan will be back. She's going to have to rotate all the way down from the core. That's huge. We are going to see the Temple phase here, though. The stun goes down on Lost. The chain CC's there. Cleanse was picked up for Uther, so that's going to get some value. The Bone Prison follow-up. They're going to continue to press this issue. Can they get Arthas? The chase is on. The stun goes down. The root just misses, and the Moonburn's not going to be enough. Uther Mellowbuck is able to keep his team alive and well for the moment. Well might be a bit of a stretch, but Mundolf is going to eat the orb, the stun from Uther and everything else, while Maddie Havoc on Malfurion has to sustain and at least try to get some of these shots. You got about 40% or so. But here come the Robot Masters. You're going to see the double stun go down, the root follow up, the root, the Hunter's Mark, putting a ton of pressure on Uther. He's going to back away. Mundolf Dwarf tosses away, and Maddie Havoc sticks his chin out for his teammate and is tagged in the face with that orb. Nice positioning play there. I like that. But Robot Masters have not really been able to find a way to just break into this area. They're gone through a bottleneck, and it's really cost them. Their health is chunked down. Stockton is going to fall on ETC. Stakes for everybody. Lost is going to start backing away. And the rest of the shots are going to be claimed by the War Boys. Nicely done on their part. That double support composition is getting them value for sure. It's giving them a lot of staying power in these team fights. And without Li Ming's ability to land those max duration orbs to really apply that chunk damage, I really think that won them that progression. Looking back at Towns, we're going to have Enduring Growth after Illumin's Grace. That will definitely make landing those roots a lot easier. With their composition, they've really invested in the ability to lock down people. And we've seen it do work, so I get that. Focus attack, Lunar Blaze, Piercing Bolt. Some action going on here. Rotation now. Maddie Havoc's in an interesting spot. Does not get knocked off his mount. Marxus, in theory, should have been able to auto attack him off of that, and then ETC could have power slid, and that might have been huge. But Malfurion is able to get away. We're going to have Weaken and Jailer, so no sustained talents for Zul. When you have two supports, you don't necessarily need them. Level 10 is here first for the War Boys. The other talents, Icebound Fortitude, Biting Cold. Okay. So no Q sustained build for Arthas. Guitar Hero. It's not one you see all the time at level 7. Level 7, speaking of levels, Heroics are picked up. Vega jumps in. I don't think the combination is going to be there that time. Divine Shield, Wave of Force, and Mosh Pit round out those selections. It's going to rotate back, though. They apply some pressure. Trying to get some of this siege potential back. They're actually, no, they're still behind. This fort is alive and well up here. All three forts are still up, even though this one is on its last legs for real in the bot lane. They have a small experience lead. Stockton power slides in on Vega. He is going to be able to get back. Mundolf has to jump out, and the Mosh Pit nets 0 stuns. That's a 2-minute cooldown. That is definitely going to allow the War Boys to play a little more aggressively. It appears as though the War Boys are content with trading out temples, but this is something of a dicey prospect. The siege damage isn't exactly there for the Robot Masters, but they can in theory look to pull an okie doke, have one person on the temple as though to suggest that they were all there, and then they could steal the boss. But yeah, well, Twilight Dream, okay. Gonna get interesting. Maelstrom, Poison Oak, alright. I like the Twilight Dream pickup. When you have double support, it's definitely something you can get away with. 3 takedowns to 2, they feel confident in their ability to stay alive without Tranquility. And the slow heal over time really is not the most inspiring thing. So the silence could be a really strong asset. Being able to silence Uther so he doesn't get the Divine Shield off. There's a lot of counterplay in that. Robot Masters has that option available to them as well with Wailing Arrow. So we'll see how that factors into these team fights. Al goes across, spots them, but damage is already done. Both of the siege camps have been taken in the bottom lane. That's something that the War Boys are going to want to respond to sooner rather than later. They already saw some value head out of the Bruiser camp that made its way across against them. Zul's the guy you want, though, to go clear out waves, so they do that. Rest of the members milling about mid and bottom on a 4-person rotation. Matty Havoc leading the charge on Malfurion. They want to go ahead and get this fort. Yeah, with the little health that it had, I'm surprised that they didn't fall down sooner. But it does give them level 13. All the members of the Robot Masters are staying close-knit. They're going to wait to capture this Bruiser Camp. The Owl, I don't think, actually sniffs this out. With that being the only other thing to do on the map, one would... Well, the boss is there. Never mind. Bruiser Camp is picked up. By the time that gets across, the Temple phase should be about here or on its way. So unless somebody goes back for that, that could do a good amount of damage to the top keep. Betrayer just whistling like... They do spot him though. The Unstoppable is able to save lost life. The stun goes down on Marksimus, who has to teleport back. The Divine Shield Mosh Pit locks down one member. That's going to be enough to snowball the situation. Zul drops. Another orb goes in. Li Ming goes bowling. Finds Tyranda's face before getting taken down themselves. The turnaround is serious from the War Boys. You can see ETC go down as well. Mellowbuck lands the stun. The Root follow up with 38 health. Is he going to get out of here? He is not. The Malfurion W is going to be enough, but Vega. Vega getting a little too antsy. He finds himself jumping over the keep wall. And I'd be curious to hear what the comms sound like in that moment. He's like, oh, sorry, guys. Whoops. Temple phase is here, though. Zul is able to come back to life in time to clear out this top Bruiser Camp before it does too much. Murden's down bottom with the Forever Alone face getting that temple. That should get him some value. There is a little bit of a contest over in the top lane. Matty Havoc getting chunked. The Calamity trying to secure the kill. Magic Missiles are going to do exactly that. Emerald W now the target. You're going to see the power slot on him with the face melt. The Wave of Force disrupting as well. The Lunar Flare, though, might have saved them. And I think the orb actually hit a minion. And that would have been the difference between getting away and not. They mount up. They minimize the damage. They do have a full level lead on them. So if they rotate swiftly enough, they could look to press tier advantage. Because I do think that Malfurion will be back before level 16 is had by the Robot Masters. So it's a bit of a power play. War Boys could either go look for a team fight, or they could just go for this boss and try to force the hand of Robot Masters. Where it's like, do you just give up this boss for free because you're down a talent tier, or do you take an arguably unfavorable fight? But the rotation is not going to be there. 15 and rising, they are going to get level 16. Might have been a moment of opportunity that the War Boys could have used to their advantage to further snowball this in their favor. Not to be this time, though. Matty Havoc spots lost. The Root goes down anyway. Mundolf does Dwarf Toss back. The power slide, though. Mosh Pit, oh my god! On 4 members of the War Boys, and it's going to be cleanup aisle 7. Li Ming loves to see this. Cooldown resets for days are going to rip the War Boys off the map, and that might be the play of the game. If you're watching this through the Chair League site, be sure to give ETC some stars there. That is going to be that young Stockton. That power slide was dead wrong. Out of nowhere. It came from behind. 10 takedowns, 7. They're going to catch up on that experience. Going to help themselves to the boss. And they have Sylvanas. Li Ming is going to hearth back, so that takes some of the exclamation point out of their ability to push this. Death timers aren't long enough to where War Boys will be unable to contest this. This is even talent tiers. The Robot Masters get too eager. The momentum could definitely swing back in the way of the War Boys. Positioning is going to be important. Li Ming showed themselves mid, so if they were going to try to go for a bit of a play, they had an opportunity to do that when the damage dealer wasn't really there. But they've been able to successfully zone out Mega Man Fan on Sylvanas, where they couldn't press in there and lock down the keep to really get the most value out of this boss. They don't want to throw this. They understand that it's an even talent tier fight, and there's arguably more to lose than the game. They don't have anywhere to be, so they don't want to try to end this game quickly. It's going to be a single temple fight, and this one might very well decide the game. Mosh Pit will be up in 20 seconds. So it's not going to be here at the initial engagement. Lost goes out here, finds the root. Betrayer goes in the bush. Shade's going to get him some value on that front. Poison Nova as well. He is getting chased. Lunar Flare goes down. Is the Hunter's Mark going to be enough? Army of the Dead keeping him sustained. The root goes down. He is tapping that R button to save his life. Figuratively and literally. He is able to skate out of there. Divine Shield is up if it gets too dicey. But look at that. Mosh Pit is back up and it's not going to nail anyone this time. That's going to be down for another 2 minutes. Home run hit does not land this time. And that's a huge cooldown. That's a sigh of relief for Warboys for sure. Their double support composition allowing them to withstand that team fight. But Zul at the Hearth back, you do basic arithmetic on the side of Robot Masters, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna, we should go in. We have the numbers advantage. Mundolf is getting targeted. You're gonna see the dwarf explode and didn't even get a chance to pop Avatar, but the counter kills there. Li Ming's gonna go down. No cooldown resets. Vega turns it around, does not throw in the combo. Root goes down on Melobuck. Uther eat a bunch of damage, gets yanked, has to Divine Shield themselves, and Sylvanas is good for launch. That ragdoll went away. No victory for the Forsaken on that one. The rest of these shots do look like they're going to go over to Warboys. This has been an amazing match. These teams have been at each other's throats, been going back and forth. It's hard to call who has the advantage in this moment, really. Structures are about even. This Bruiser camp is in the top lane, though. Stockton doing what he can to clear this wave out. He's going to have some backup now, though. The aggressive play from Warboys, I like this. They're going to go ahead and help themselves at a siege camp while they have the position advantage. Just kind of keeping the members of Robot Masters busy, taking options away from them so they're not able to clear that out themselves. I like the rotations. Both of these teams are playing the game very well. 11 takedowns to 9. Both teams level 19. This is exciting. You see Lunar Shower. So the full AK build, the AK-47, I like to call it, for a Malfurion. So you're going to see his damage numbers start to go up. Mark of Mending. Nice. Huntress's Fury. So a heavy commitment to auto attack damage. I like that. Healing Static, give them the axe. Amplified damage. Sure their team likes that, especially Kerrigan. She's going to get aggressive defense. Give her a little bit of staying power. You're going to have the vulnerability on the side of the Robot Masters now in Cold Embrace. False Morn feeds. Diamond Skin, so Illusionist setup. Opposing Presence. And Benediction. 17 minutes into this match. Heavy action in the bot lane, potentially. You're going to see the Owl go across and tag Mega Man Fan. The Root goes down. They're not ready to fight just yet. They want to hit level 20. And Warboys were not able to force a fight there. Catch someone too far out of position. Going to rotate up. This is going to be a 2-temple affair. The Bruiser camp has been making its way across the map, though. That's going to get targeted before these temples activate. I think that's a really good call on the side of the Robot Masters, who now have their level 20 talents. Looking at these, we're going to have Nightmare, the upgrade on Twilight Dream. Neat. Nexus Frenzy, more attack damage. Hardened Shield, Bone Spear, and Omega Storm, the upgraded Maelstrom. Neat. Anti-Magic Shell, or Shell. Repulsion, you're going to see some big knockbacks. That's going to be cool. And Redemption, as expected. We have action already, though. Lost is trying to isolate Emerald W, doing a pretty decent job. A ton of damage going out in the Robot Masters. And Uther gets turned into a ghost. He'll be back after these messages. The Mosh Pit does get a little bit of value. Betrayer is on the ropes before finally going down on Zul. Sylvanas is going to drop as well. This was a 2v1, but now Uther's back. Stockton, next target, is going to drop. Melobuck gets pulled back to death metal. No follow-up there, no kills. Mark Smith's not in position to snowball that bad boy. But that was a hectic fight. The early Uther kill allowed him to come back at half health. Got value out of Redemption. Could have made it super interesting, but the Sylvanas death took a lot of the damage away. And speaking of damage, Tyranda's leading even over Li Ming with 46,000 damage. If you're wondering where the members of Robot Masters are going, blame Elune's grace. That little progression, though, is going to net a victory for the Robot Masters. They're going to go ahead and have both of these temples fire on the last remaining structure, which is the core. Do they decide to rotate over? 9 seconds on Sylvanas, 14 on ETC. They're split, though. The core's down to 70%. They could theoretically YOLO there would be a last stand of sorts on the side of Robot Masters. So they're not entirely out of it, but it's looking grim. The wave clear is going to have to be there for the Robot Masters. They got to push these lanes up enough to allow them to venture out, because every time they step away, those catapults are going to get, they're going to get pretty close. Siege camp's picked up. The other siege camp is targeted. Stocked again, waiting for that mosh pit. He's got 15 seconds before that happens. These are close quarters. Mundolf, everybody's going on him. He's able to withstand it, though, and Li Ming's going to drop. The power slide is not going to be enough. Death Metal does get some value this time, though. You're going to see Sylvanas go down along with Murden. Front line down. Uther explodes. I'm not sure if Redemption is going to be there in time, but it almost doesn't matter. It's going to be a full ace, and I don't see how that's anything else but the game. What was really tough about that, Mosh Pit is now off cooldown. If they had that at the start of the fight, this could have gone a very different way. But not having that Mosh Pit at the very initial engagement, everybody went all in on Murden, value out of that double support, and keeping him alive long enough to secure kills, not only on the main damage dealer, but some of their front line as well. That's a great game. GG's, well played. I'm impressed. This is the first time I'm seeing Warboys, first time I'm seeing the new Robot Masters composition. I mean, it went back and forth. This is probably one of the most even matches I've seen in Chair League Season 3. So nicely done, guys. At the end of the day, Warboys are able to come out on top, giving themselves the first victory in Week 1. Neat. That one's in the record books. And that's also the last game I had for the evening. Thank you to Warboys and Robot Masters for giving me the opportunity to cast you guys. I had a lot of fun. I hope you in the audience have had as much fun as I have. That was a fun game. For now, that's going to be it for me. Plenty of Chair League action for the rest of the week, and I think there's even more going on other channels. Let's take a quick look. See what we got here. But yeah, that was a ton of fun to watch and cast, so thank you. Thank you. There's another Chair League set of games going on. I'll be glad to host that. There is. So yeah. So that's going to be it for me. Very great game, Mark Smith. Yeah. Can't wait to see you guys further into the season. Again, very well played for now. My name is Haloran. I appreciate any and all follows. Click the button down there. I'm also on Twitter at _Haloran if you want to see when I'm casting again. I've been casting a lot. Like this week I've gone pretty hard, and my week is not over. So yeah, you'll get to see more of my face if that's what you were interested in. I stream every now and again also. Also follow the Chair League account, of course. And hope to see you guys around next time. Till then, this is Haloran signing off.